Okay, so you know how much we love a good story here, and let me tell ya. Game 3 of that ALDS, Yankees Royals, this one was like a baseball movie just waiting to happen. We've got articles and they break down like every single moment, every strategic decision, every clutch play. And today, we're going beyond the box score, reliving all the energy, all the electricity of that game out in Kauffman. We want to understand how the Yankees managed to take the lead in this, well, crucial matchup.
And you picked a good one for a deep dive. Because Game 3, with a 1-1 tie in the series, that's when the pressure really starts to get to you. Every single pitch, every swing, it all just means so much more.
Oh, absolutely. You could practically feel it just radiating from the pregame analysis. I mean, think about it. Aaron Judge, a guy, a slugger who can carry a team. He was in a slump, trying to find his groove. And on the other side, Bobby Witt Jr., still looking for his first hit of the series, hoping to make a splash.
And let's not forget that pitching matchup. I mean, talk about adding fuel to the fire. The Royals, they send Seth Lugo out there, a guy who, let's be honest, had owned the Yankees recently, even shut him out completely the last time he faced him.
Talk about a recipe for a pitcher's duel. Yeah. And those first few innings, oh man, they did not disappoint at all. Scoreless, yeah, through the first 3, but trust me, it was anything but boring.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It was like watching a pair of heavyweight fighters just kind of circling each other, sizing each other out, waiting for that first opening. And those early innings, man, they're fascinating. Those tiny little details, those bang-bang calls that could go either way, they can really loom large over the entire game.
It's those razor-thin margins that'll have you on the edge of your seat, biting your nails. I mean, that Gleyber Torres foul ball in the third, they must have shown that replay a dozen times. And it was so close, it looked like it just maybe grazed the line. Could have been a fair ball. We're talking millimeters here. But millimeters, if it goes the other way, total game changer.
It really is amazing how much rides on those tiny moments, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just that. Right after that near miss, you get Yuli Gurriel coming this close. I mean, this close to putting the Royals on the board with a home run. You could feel the whole crowd just gasp.
Those first few innings, man, it was all about building that tension. But then in the fourth, the Yankees, they finally broke through.
Juan Soto, always dangerous at the plate, works a walk, and then Stanton, who else? Just rips a double and brings Soto home. And that run was actually huge for another reason. It snapped a pretty crazy streak for Lugo.
Right, over 10 innings without giving up a single run to the Yankees, completely shut down. But like you were saying earlier, postseason, it's just a different beast. Past performance, well, it doesn't always mean everything when the pressure's on like that.
Man, it's the truth. That pressure, it can either elevate a player's game or it can expose those little cracks. And speaking of pressure, the Royals, they weren't just going to let that run stand. No way.
Not a chance. Not a chance. They come right back at him, bottom of the fifth, stringing together some well-timed hits. Got to give him that. And Yankees starter Clark Schmidt, he felt the heat.
You could practically hear the question starting right. Did the Yankees wait too long to bring in their reliever, Clay Holmes? It's that constant question, that chess match, you know what I mean? Do you stick with your starter or make that early change?
100%. I mean, do you hope the starter finds their rhythm again? Or do you go for it and make the switch and hope you're not, showing your hand too soon? It's a high-stakes game, for sure. And this time it felt like holding back Holmes for that little bit extra. It might have cost them. But then, and this is what I love about baseball, things took another turn.
The Yankees go-ahead rally in the fifth. Man, that was a clinic in small ball.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in the big swings, the home runs, all that. But what gets me about that fifth inning rally for the Yankees, it's those small plays, those heads-up plays. It's a reminder that playoff baseball, it's often about who's hungrier, who's going to grind it out, even when they're not putting on a power show.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Those little things, the bunts, the sacrifices, they get lost sometimes, but they're huge. Take Soto. The guy's a monster at the plate. We all know that, right? But fifth inning, he lays down a perfect sac fly, brings in the go-ahead run, doesn't care about his own stats, just wants the W.
And Stanton was already on fire that night, right? But then he does steal second. Now, this is a guy who I think he had literally zero stolen bases the entire regular season. You think the Royals were expecting that? Not a chance.
Talk about keeping them on their toes. It just goes to show you, man, in the playoffs, you can't assume anything. That stolen base, that was Stanton being aware, understanding the situation. Just smart baseball.
That's a side of Stanton you don't see every day, right, Tay? You almost forget how fast he is until he takes off like that. And that steal, man, it just swung the momentum right back to the Yankees, set the stage for what became, well, a battle of the bullpens, that's for sure.
Because once that fifth inning ended, It was like both managers just said, all right, let's go to work. Relievers come in. And it was like a chess match out there.
Yeah.
Every pitch mattered.
Oh, the tension was unreal. And, you were talking before about how these small moments, they can have such a big impact. And I feel like that's even more true when you've got two bullpens, two really, really good bullpens going at it like that. One mistake, one pitch in the wrong spot, and the whole game changes.
And you know what?
Yeah.
You're right. One of those game-changing moments. It did happen in the eighth. But it wasn't exactly small ball, was it?
No, not at all. Just when you thought, okay, maybe the Royals, maybe they can pull this off, Stanton steps up and bam, go ahead, a home run. That was his second extra base hit of the night, and let me tell you, you could feel the air go out of the Royals' sails after that one.
Talk about a statement. That was Stanton basically saying, this is over. But you got to give the Royals credit, man. They didn't quit. They kept fighting until that last out. That's the kind of grit you want to see in a team, playoff or not.
Absolutely. And, speaking of battling, let's talk about those pitching changes, those duels in the late innings. Both managers, they were playing chess out there, trying to squeeze every last out of their guys. Fascinating to watch, really.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Constant adjustments, trying to stay one step ahead of the other guy. Do you stick with what's working, or do you try to exploit a weakness? It's a tough call, high pressure. And that's part of what makes playoff baseball so great.
And speaking of great, Game 4 was set to be another one for the books. Cole against Wacha, a rematch of Game 1. And that one had everyone on the edge of their seats.
For sure. After that first game, where both guys had their moments, but, they both gave up some runs too, you had to wonder how would they approach it differently the second time around. I bet they were both up late, studying film, trying to find any edge they could get.
Oh, absolutely. And with the series moving back to New York, you could feel that energy shift, The Yankees, they had the momentum, they had the home crowd, and they had their ace, Jarrett Cole, ready to take the mound.
Yeah, talk about a boost of confidence. Cole on the mound, a chance to end the series right there. You got to like their chances. But then again, you're talking about the Royals, a team that had already proven they weren't going down without a fight.
Exactly. That's what's so great about baseball, especially in the playoffs. Just when you think you've got it figured out, things change. So we're wrapping up this deep dive on Game 3, but it feels like we're leaving with more questions than answers,
Yeah, and that's what makes it so exciting. All the what-ifs.
Yeah.
That unpredictability, it's the best.
It really is. We can break down all the stats, analyze every play, but at the end of the day, it's those moments, those heart-stopping, can't-predict-them moments that make this game so special. So thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everybody. We'll be back soon to break down all the action from Game 4 and beyond.
Exactly. We've seen it a million times, right? Especially in the playoffs. You think one team's got it, and then boom, everything flips. So we're wrapping up this deep dive on Game 3. But I got to say, it feels like we're leaving with, well, more questions than answers. Will the Yankees keep riding this ways? Can they take the series? Or will the Royals, will they find a way?
Yeah.
Dig deep and take it to Game 5?
See, and that's the beauty of it, that unpredictability. You never know. But while we're sitting here thinking about what's next for these two, I think there's something else we got to talk about, something that could really make or break it for both these teams.
Oh, I love it when you say that. What's the secret ingredient? What are we missing? All right, so we talked a lot about Stanton, those pitching changes, all that. But what about the other guy? The other big bat in that Yankees lineup? What about Judge?
Yeah, Judge. We mentioned it earlier, right? The slow start. And I mean, yeah, he had that sac fly in Game 3, but we still haven't seen that, that classic Judge moment, the one that makes you get out of your seat.
Right, exactly. That's the thing. He hasn't had that breakout moment. And you could just tell the pressure's building with every single at-bat. And that kind of pressure, man, it can either crush a player or it can light a fire under him.
Man, that is so true. So as we look ahead to Game 4 and maybe even beyond, it's not just about, who's hot and who's not. It's about that mental game, that October pressure. How does a guy like Judge, how does he respond when all eyes are on him? Can he shut everyone up, become a Yankees legend? Or will it all be too much?
$1 million question right there, my friend. $1 million question.
Yeah.
And we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It reminds you that, yeah, we love breaking it all down, looking at the stats, but baseball, it's also a game of stories, moments that become, part of history. And as much as we like to think we know what's going to happen, it's those moments, those crazy, unpredictable moments that keep us coming back for more. So thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon to break down all the action from Game 4, see if Judge can find his swing, and, well, see how this whole story unfolds.